Hallo und herzlich willkommen zurück im Nerdzeitalter. Schön, dass ihr wieder eingeschaltet habt. Da muss man mal kurz die Brille richten. Ja, wir sind immer noch hier die Hintergrundgeschichte der Talon zu erfahren. Und da gucken wir uns jetzt den Rest an. So. Hallo? Jetzt. Okay, 99% accurate. Okay, hat man das vorher auch schon mal? Müssen wir mal ins Video gucken. Wait a second. This console only seems to have a database of Talon-controlled planets, foods, dances and other cultural related stuff. While this is probably what the chief wanted me to read, it's no use to us. Yes, the console appears to contain information about the Talon people. Personally, I find it fascinating, Commander. Can you enable the upload connection on the console so I can store these files? You, Ida, find something fascinating? That is the most expression I've heard out of you so far, Ida. One of my parameters is to investigate and document first contact with any alien species, Commander. I'm predisposed to fascination of all alien creatures and cultures. Does it mean you're investigating those big-ass spiders we've been running into as well? Of course, Commander. If you'd like to know more about the creatures we've encountered, you can read the ecological database in your PA. I'll pass that. Thanks, Ida. I'm sorry to interrupt, Commander, but I have detected the heat signatures moving in on the tower information. I was able to trace them back to the transport half a kilometer away that landed outside of my focus. I apologize for not detecting them sooner, Commander. How many hostiles are we talking about here? There are only 3, Commander. They appear to have taken flanking positions, 1 at the top of the tower to prevent your escape and 2 preparing to breach. I guess it's go time then. So. Okay. Noch sehe ich nichts. Okay. Nee, da ist nix. Okay. Gut, dann geht's mal wieder zurück zur Basis. Und wenn wir das Talon-Gebiet verlassen haben, können wir... Ist hier noch irgendwo was auf dem Weg, was wir noch nicht erforscht haben? Nee, anscheinend nicht. Okay, ein kleines Kupfererzlager und ein Spinnenlager. Darum müssen wir uns mal bei Gelegenheit kümmern. Da sind die Portals. So, da fliegen wir auch wieder in die Dunkelheit hinein. So, mal sehen, wie die Beleuchtung unseres kleinen Außenpostens ist. Ist eigentlich ganz gut. So. Oh, da sind wir wieder zu Hause, Leute. Und dann gucken wir mal hier. Das PDA. Strike Team. Okay, Sweep and Clear. Liest zumindest die Beschreibung. Jetzt nützliche Tipps. Okay, aber wo waren die denn? Okay, okay, wir müssen also wieder zurückfliegen. Müssen wir wieder zurückfliegen. Halt. Falsches Rollen, richtiges Rollen. Wir gehen mal auf die Karte. So. Granary. Talon hat. Coppers Away. Ja, aber das war doch hier irgendwo. Ne, hier war's. Okay, Wegpunkt. Okay. Ja, ja, das ist die richtige Richtung. Gut, dann fliegen wir da nochmal hin. Was sind denn das da für Strahlen? Ach so, das sind keine Strahlen, das ist der Planet. Okay, dann fliegen wir nochmal zurück. Ja, tut mir leid. Ich dachte, ich muss die nicht bekämpfen, wenn sie nicht da sind. Okay, da fliegen wir in die Phase des Sonnenuntergangs hinein. Das wird richtig ekelhaft, die im Dunkeln zu bekämpfen. Okay, und ich muss das Schiff auch mal wieder aufladen. So. Aber es hieß doch, dass die 3 Kilometer entfernt von uns gelandet sind und hier Flanking Positions eingenommen haben. Wir machen hier nochmal einen Ping. Da hinten, das sind aber normale Radarsignaturen. Okay, machen hier nochmal aus. Also ich sehe keine Gegner, Leute. Ja. Ich sehe keine Gegner. Wahrscheinlich ist es, wenn ich sie sehe, zu spät. Es sind auch keine... Okay. Hm. Nee, das sind sie nicht. Tja, ich bin mir nicht sicher. 3 Kilometer ist halt fast so weit weg wie meine Basis. Wie lange laufen die denn? Das hieß doch, die nähern sich uns. Ja. Hm. Okay. Ja, dann. Dafür gibt es auch keine Belohnung. Das heißt, wir haken die jetzt mal ab. Ja. Haben wir erledigt. Good work, Commander. All targets eliminated. Suspicion deceived. Okay. Short time for them to have gotten as close as they did. The only way Zirax could have beaten us here was if someone told them we were coming. I have the feeling the Talon are not as peacefully as they claim. Okay, wir müssen zurück zum Chief. So, und jetzt haben wir ja auch eine Übersetzungsmatrize. So. Gucken wir mal. Ja, ich muss dich mal bald auftanken, Kleiner. Okay. Chief, I see you have returned, traveler. I hope your journey was enlightening. Wait a sec, you can speak trade standard? Of course I do. How else would I purchase supplies and sell ingredients to the traders of the trading station? Then why send me on this wild goose chase to learn your language and history? Couldn't you have just told me what I wanted to know when I first came here? Okay, die hier sehen irgendwie nicht so freundlich aus. I could have, but then you would have both learned nothing for yourself and provided nothing to me. I'm now confident that you are neither a Zirax spy or an enemy of the clan. By the way, what is a goose? Some kind of animal? No, it's an animal, a bird from my homeworld, but that's beside the point. Okay, I was attacked by Zirax right after reaching the tower. What? The tower contains a record of our history, much as the Zirax would like to refute it. They would never intentionally destroy such a repository of knowledge, as it may still be of use if the war resumes again. What can I tell you, Chief? They blew in a wall to get in and took out one of the consoles and everything behind it. The red one, I think. By the time I'd reached the tower, they'd already landed a safe distance and were making their way on foot to the tower. That knowledge is backed up. So as long as the other consoles are undamaged, then it can be repaired. I can tell what you are thinking. That someone here told the Zirax patrols where to find you, aren't you? No. Not to put too fine a point on it, Chief, but yes. It shames me to admit that you're probably right, traveler. I can even understand why they did it. You see, a year ago, when the ships of your people crashed onto the planet, several villages were caught in the fires caused by the flaming debris that rained down across the planet. I ordered my people to go and put out the fires of our settlement and those of our neighbors. Then to aid any survivors from the others, from your people's ships. To my sorrow, when we tried to help your people, they mistook us for the Zirax and our aid for an attack. We lost many people that night. Several of the young hunters lost friends and family members. They've held a grudge since then. After I'd sent you the tower to learn our ways and language to prove you were not an enemy, several of the hunters came to me and demand that I render you no aid. That instead I should contact our Zirax jailers and trade the information for supplies or weapons. Naturally, I refused. I would be a poor leader to lend any assistance to the Zirax who enforced these conditions upon us. Unfortunately, I seem the youngsters did not like my answers to their demands. Now it seems that they may have done something unforgivable. What will happen to the hunters now? The youngsters will be apprehended and brought before the tribal council to determine their guilt. Selling out an alley. Okay, I understand. Is there any way I can help? I believe you may meet opposition. On the other hand, I believe some of the other hunters may also refuse the order to bring in the youngsters. I would ask you if you're willing to speak to the head of the hunters and tell him to call in the hunters at my request. Okay, right away. Machen wir. Okay, die Schritte hätte er jetzt natürlich nicht gehen können. Halt. Okay. So you are the Terran that the chief has vouched for. I'm not impressed. I'm here because the chief asked me to tell you to bring in the young hunters that are suspected. Okay. No member of my hunters would dare sell out anyone to those treacherous Zirax thugs. You dare accuse my kinsmen of making deals with their kind? I'm not accusing anyone. I'm here to make you call the hunters instead of warning them. My people have no reason to flee for your false accusations, Terran. I've already sent out a messenger to bring them back. And are they back yet? Well, no. They should have returned some time ago. That does not mean they are guilty of anything, just that something has delayed them. They might be in trouble. Then I will go out and bring them in myself. No, you will not, Terran. I will go out and you will accompany me to ensure that there is no deception. I can live with that. So, where are we going? Kiev is the closest. He should be near the stone monument at this time of day. I will meet you at the top of the tower if I cannot find him. He will likely be near the tower and visible from the top. Let's head out then. Okay. Okay. Okay, das heißt, wir müssen zu dem Monument. Kommt der? Läuft der? Läuft der wirklich? Nein, tut er nicht. Okay. Judy, dann, das Monument ist, ich sollte mir mal wieder ein Hoverbike machen. Ich sollte mir mal wieder ein Hoverbike machen. I see the monument but no sign of the treacherous hunter or the commander. I recommend caution when approaching. Katze? Okay. Mist, jetzt kann ich das nicht legen. Okay, inside the monument tower. Okay. Okay. Wir haben Licht. Wir gehen auf die hier. Ah, wir könnten vorher nochmal was essen. So, ich muss ja gar nicht einsteigen. Ich drücke ja einfach nur F4. So. Shift, rechte Maustaste, 1 gegessen. Sehr schön, uns geht's gut. Stop right there, you deceitful, violent savage. I don't know how you tricked that fool of a chief, but I won't give you the chance to spout your lies at me. I haven't lied to anyone. I'm not here to lie to you, Kiev. Save your lies, Terran. You people murdered my father, whose only crime was that he was too kind. Would never raise his voice or his hand against anyone. I will never forgive you, your kind Terran. You taint this holy monument, this entire planet, with your presence. A presence I will now cleanse, and in doing so, will help my father's spirit to find Empyrion. Don't try it, Kiev. You don't stand a chance against me with that crossbow. You think you can bring me in? You'll find I didn't come alone. I guess we're gonna do this the hard way then. Schon muss ich hier rauf? Ich bin mir nicht sicher. Ist der hier oben? Okay, ich bin ganz oben. Ne, noch nicht ganz oben. Okay. Oh, Drehwurm incoming. Okay. Okay, das hier ist irgendwas, was britzelt. Tja, wo sind die denn? Ja, bei Fire. Ich glaube, es ist das Ding da hier. Okay, also sie sind definitiv... nicht hier oben. Ja, hier oben sind sie auch nicht. Warte mal. Ist hier hinter vielleicht noch irgendwas? Nö, hier nicht. Und hier ist auch nix. Okay. Dann gehen wir mal hier runter. Ist hier noch irgendwas? Vielleicht übersehen habe? Nee. Nee, nee. Okay. Auch nix. Okay. Wo sind sie denn? Eingang. Okay, mir geht's gut. So, wir probieren hier mal Shift F aus. Oh mein Gott, ist das gut. Ah, da ist er. Auf die 3. Okay. Und Zirax. Auch nochmal looten. Geldkarte. Notsauerstoff. Okay. Jo. Okay, hier hat das zumindest funktioniert. Was habe ich denn hier? Statistiken, was ist das hier? Giftbiss. Nutze Entgiftungssalbe oder ein Detox-Kit. Okay. Ich habe nur leider kein Detox-Kit. So. Back to the Chief. So, gucken wir mal. Ich hoffe... Halt. 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 So. So. Ja, hat doch einigermaßen funktioniert. Ja, wir könnten mal noch was essen. Beziehungsweise, warte mal. Oh Mann, das verbraucht natürlich... Okay. Kriegen wir ein bisschen Heilung. Wird das schlimmer mit der Zeit? Nee, das müsste sich abbauen. Okay, wir werden es gleich sehen, Leute. Wir werden es gleich sehen. So. See, you have returned, traveler, but it is without the missing hunter key Eve. No, you don't need to explain. One of our hunters already saw you gun down key Eve on top of the monument tower. Das war nicht on top, okay. It saddens me that you would work to gain my trust only to kill my clansmen in cold blood. What do you have to say for yourself, Terran? I was only defending myself after he attacked me. Wir bleiben mal bei der Wahrheit. We, Talon, are not a violent people. We never initiate an attack, but we will respond if attacked. In the case, we have already received word that Kiev's body was found alone at the base of the monument with several holes in his body matching your weapon. There is no other bodies. Your guilt is clear. Okay. I had hoped you would become a friend of the clan, traveler. We are so lacking in allies in these trying times that it seems that I pinned my hopes that we could mend the gap between our two peoples. I'm not lying, the bodies were removed after I left to return here. Enough! No, Chief. What the Terran says is true. I saw it with my own eyes. Okay? Kiev is a traitor. Traitor! Huntmaster. You who lost so many of your hunters to the Terrans, you would truly vouch for this one? You who cried loudest for vengeance against the Terran interlopers? Yes, Chief. I watched Kiev lead a party of 4 Zirax soldiers to the monument and initiate an attack on the Terran who sent the monument to wait for me to bring Kiev peacefully. I didn't see 4 Zirax soldiers. I'm the head of the hunters for a reason, Terran. I know my way around a knife and Zirax body armor. What I want to know is how you know the bodies were removed. I'm a commander of the UCH for a reason, Hunter. You had the machine mind watch the area, didn't you? Ah. If you think you can pull the fur over my chief's eyes, friend. Does your machine mind know who took away the bodies? They are surely in league with Ki's schemes. With no way to identify them, I can't tell. All I can tell. Oh, okay, es geht echt ein bisschen schnell. Know who they are. There are only 4 hunters still out on patrol that did not heed the summon, Chief. But that is an issue for another time. Is it not? Yes, I believe it is, Huntsmaster. I'm sorry, Traveler, that you had to see us in a time of weakness. I must truly be getting old if I could not see the darkness brewing within our youth. It's not your fault, Chief. These are your people and they were wronged by mine. True, but the fault lies with me for not realizing how troubled my clansmen are, and also lies with them for not bringing their troubles to me before the situation worsened to what we have now. Things could have been much worse, so I'm glad that the crisis was averted, even if the result isn't what anyone could call positive. You're now welcome among my clan, Traveler Maxspire. Rest here and be ease here. If here's anything I can do to help you, please ask me. Where did the Terran survivors go? Your clansmen? Their vehicles headed to the trade station belonging to the Polaris traders. I know this because I was purchasing medical supplies when I saw them. I will give you the coordinates of the station if you need them, but I'm sure your machine mind has already found the structure. I hope you find your people again, Traveler. May the spirits guide you to Empyrion, if not your people. And may the spirits guide you too, Chief. Now you're sounding like a member of the clan. Farewell, Chief Natuk. I hope to see you again. Jo, Leute. Chapter 3. Industrial Concern. You've cleared your name and found an unlikely ally in the Talon. But it seems things are not always what they seem. And trust needs to be earned in this new galaxy. Can the Polaris who helped smuggle your people off-world ahead of the Zirax be trusted? Or are they planning a deeper game? Only time will tell. Okay. Hier klicke ich nochmal auf Ablehnen. Ja. Hier klicke ich nochmal auf Abnehmen, denn wir sind am Ende einer Folge, Leute. Okay, ich gestehe. Ich schaue jetzt quasi in das ist jetzt das 3. Chapter gewesen. Ich glaube, es war das 3. Chapter. Ne, das 2. Chapter. Alter, die Story ist so gut gemacht. Ja, es fehlt ein bisschen Sprachausgabe und ein bisschen Animations und so, klar, ne? Aber hey, das Spiel hat schon ein bisschen was auf dem Buckel. Aber die Liebe, die in dieses Mod, in dieses Szenario eingeflossen ist, holla die Waldfee. Wenn ihr an dieser Stelle euch überlegt, Empyrion zu holen und Reforged Eden zu holen, dann kann ich nur sagen, tut es. Das Spiel ist mittlerweile, also seit der Alpha, ein ganzes Stück besser geworden und hey, solche Szenarios machen das Spiel halt einfach noch 10-mal spielenswert. Und ich habe gesehen, es gibt noch eine ganze Menge mehr Szenarios, die in diese Richtung gehen, die andere Geschichten erzählen. Ist schon sehr, sehr cool. In diesem Falle von mir eine klare Empfehlung. Holt's euch, probiert's aus. Ich bin total begeistert. Bis zum nächsten Mal, euer Sven.